Hey everybody, it's nobody. So I'll wait a minute for anybody to show up. And there's somebody. Hello, welcome. This is Metro South online or virtual classes. This is the Parkour and Freerunning level 2, so it's our intermediate class. So if that's what you're here for, great. If you're not here for it, stay anyway, so I have somebody to talk to. Cool. All right. Today we're gonna need lots of space. We're not going to be doing a lot of sideways movement, but we're going to be going forward, and we want to make sure we don't bump into anything. This class is going to be for our parkour roll or our shoulder roll. We're going to go over it in a little bit of detail so that we can make sure we're doing it correctly. So things you will need for today's class if you want to get them ahead of time while I start the warm-up. My ground is kind of hard, so what I'm going to be using is a yoga mat to make it a little bit softer. What I would recommend for you guys, especially if we don't quite have our roll, is to either, if you have a panel mat, that would be great. Use the panel mat. I know some of you do. If you do not have a panel mat, you don't need one necessarily. What I like to use is, boom, big old pillow. All right, so I got a big body pillow here. If I don't have any big pillows, small pillows. Boom, boom, boom. If I don't have any small pillows or big pillows, and I don't have a panel mat, and I don't have a yoga mat, and my ground is super hard, you could use a mattress if you wanted to. Bed would be fine. All right, we just want something that will soften the surface for us a little bit, so that we don't end up with any bumps or bruises while we're learning this, all right? So let's get into the warm-up. Yeah. 20 jumping jacks as fast as you can. Ready, set, go. All right, big jumps. Arms going wide, feet going up. We're gonna get our blood pumping, our body's moving, our brain's working, juice is flowing. Do crazy ones. Woo. All right, and now feet together, we're bouncing, rebound. Try to stay on your toes, don't let your heels touch the ground. Just bouncing on your toes, bouncing on your toes. I want you to bounce forwards and backwards. Forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards. And now bounce side to side. Side to side. Very nice. Good, good. Bounce on one foot. So again, try to stay on your toe. Try not to let your heel touch the ground. Just bounce on one foot. Jump on the other foot. Cool. All right, now back onto the other foot and jump forwards and backwards again. Forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards. And switch feet. Jump forwards and backwards. Forwards and backwards. Cool. Now down to the ground. Back up tall. We're going to do 5, 3, 4, 5. I hit the ceiling every time. I hope you guys don't hit the ceiling, but I do. All right. Standing up tall, we're going to warm up our shoulders. So we're going to look forwards, big circles. We'll probably do this warm up with the shoulders every single week because my shoulders need to warm up, and I like them. Swinging backwards. Big as you can go. And now we're going to try to swing one forwards, one backwards. And then we're going to switch. If you're struggling with this, the way that I like to do it is not think of it forwards and backwards. Think of it up and down. So you have both hands out in front of you. One of them goes up, one of them goes down. All right? Same thing. One of them goes up, one of them goes down. Just like that. Cool. Swing your arms across the front. Switch which one goes on top each time. Try to open your arms out wide to the side and try to reach them behind you. Cool. And without moving your feet, let's twist. Twist it up. Twist it good. Twisty, twisty. Leaning forwards, twisting. Just like so. Try to look at your hand. All right. Standing with our feet together, we're going to do our pike stretch. So that's the one where we reach down towards our toes, Try to keep your legs as straight as possible. Reach as far as you can. If you can only make it to here, that's fine. Try to touch your toes. Touch the ground. Put your hands flat. Put your hands flat. Try to get your nose to your shins. All right. Give it a little bounce. Up and down. And stand in a straddle. All right. We'll do a small straddle for now because we're going to put one arm up like this next to our ear. We're going to reach over to the side. This other hand is reaching down the leg. You should feel a stretch up the side of your body here. And switch sides. Reaching over, again, up the side of your body here. Stretching, stretching, stretching. Cool. Now take that straddle wider. Reach down, touch one foot. Very good. Reach over to the other side, touching the other foot. I got both hands on my feet. That's what I want to see. Not so much like this. Reaching both hands over. Switch sides one more time. Over this side. And back to the last side again. And then we're going to reach down the middle. I'm going to turn this way so you can see. I'm going to try to get my hands to touch right in between my feet as if there's an imaginary line between them. Not out front like this. I want to be back here, all right? If that's easy for us, reach behind your feet. Just keep your legs nice and straight. Don't let them bend like this. They need to be straight. Reaching back. Give it a little bit of a bounce. Not a crazy bounce, just a little one. Reaching down. Cool. Go ahead and take a seat. Do a quick butterfly stretch. Take your hands on your ankles. Try to turn your feet open like they're a book in front of you. And then take your elbows and push your knees down to the floor. Holding this stretch. Holding it up. See if you can sit up tall when you do this one. So don't be slouched over like this. Up nice and tall. Pushing our knees to the floor. Very good. Put one foot out straight. We're going to do this with a flex foot, which means like this, where our toes are pointing back towards us, rather than a pointed foot. Flex, grabbing onto our toes, try to get that second hand down, trying to stretch out our calf muscle. Alrighty. Put your foot over the top, roll out your ankle. I like to give my toes a little wiggle when I do this too. Warm those little guys up. And then put your foot on the ground, hug your knee. Pull it in tight. Nice and tight. Sit up tall. Awesome. Switch legs. Foot in straight like this. Flex toe, so toes pointing back towards us. Grabbing our foot. Take that other hand. Reach it in. You guys should feel a stretch in the back part of your leg here. This is your calf muscle. Okay? If it hurts a lot, that's good. That means it's stretching. All right. Foot over the top. Roll it out. Roll it out. Again, give your toes a little bit of a wiggle if you need to. Foot on the ground, hugging your knee, sitting up tall. Try to keep that foot solid on the ground. Don't let it come up in the air like this. Solid. Good. Very nice. Cool. Flip onto your stomach. We're doing a seal stretch. Hips are low. Hands are directly underneath our shoulders, not out like this. Okay? Hands underneath our shoulders, and then I want you to look up at the ceiling. Just like that. Very nice. Okay. Next, cat stretch. So hands are reaching out way in front of us. Our butts are up high, not back on our feet like this. Up high, our armpits are going towards the ground. You're going to have to lift your head up and look at your hands. Hold in this position, trying to push it down, stretch those shoulders in your back. Cool, come on up. Roll out your wrists. Give them a good roll. Do the wave. Give them a good roll again. And then do the opposite wave. Go the other way. This one's tricky for me. Shake them out. Very nice. All right. We are warmed up and ready to go. So like I said at the beginning, we are going to be doing our shoulder roll for today. So things you'll need is some sort of soft surface, whether that is a panel mat or a pillow or a bunch of pillows or a bed or a soft carpeted floor or a yoga mat, anything that you feel comfortable on. You may bump and bang your shoulder on this move. It will not be the end of the world. If you do, it's just a little bump. You'll be all right. So we're going to start with the beginning of our roll. Actually, let's start with the middle of our roll. I know that sounds weird, but we'll start with the middle of our roll today, and then we'll go to the beginning, and then we'll go to the end. Middle of the roll, what's important is that our back, if you look at my back here, this is a straight back position. If you were to draw a straight line, or if you were to draw a line up the side of my body, you would see that that line would be straight. This, whoop, let me pull my shirt in tight. This is an arched back. If you draw a line, you'll see that it's pointing backwards behind me, all right? And then this is our round back. This is what we're going to be working with today, the round back position. I did a great example for the Parkour 1 guys. This is a yoga block. This is our straight back position. Check out what happens when I try to do a roll with a straight back position. Ready? Didn't really work. You're just going to flop over and you're going to bang yourself, right? This is our round back position, okay? Watch how easily that one rolls. Woo! I know that's pretty common sense that a ball rolls and a block does not, but it just is helpful to visualize. So here's what's next. Laying down on the floor, we're going to make ourselves as round as possible in a little ball, and we're just going to practice 5 rolls like so. All right, working on tucking our chin in tight while we do that, keeping our hands on our legs to firmly hold ourselves in that little ball shape. You should feel like this is a really smooth movement with no bumps or bangs or anything like that going up and down your back. Keep your chin in tight like this, keeps your head from banging against the ground, all right? If you feel like you're banging on your hips, that means your back is not as round as it could be. And if you're having trouble getting your feet all the way down onto the ground again, like this, we should be able to get to this position with our feet strong. If we're having trouble and we're getting to about here and we're not quite making it, that means that I'm too open. See this position? I'm too open. We need to be a tighter little ball. Cool. Now, for the shoulder roll, we're not going to be doing a straight roll across the center of our back. So instead of going straight down our back here, we're going to be starting from one shoulder and going across the opposite side, drawing a line sideways across our back. The way that we're going to start this is you guys are going to go down, crouching low on your toes. You're going to take your hands and you're going to make a diamond shape with them. You're going to put your diamond over one knee. Now, this is how I know which knee to use. So I'm going to be rolling over my right shoulder, so I'm going to put my hands over my left knee. So it's opposite shoulder, so it's opposite knee of your shoulder. So you roll over your right shoulder, left knee. If you roll over your left shoulder, right knee, okay? So I'm going to put my hands over my knee like this, so that my knee is in between my arms. I'm over one, okay? Then the next part of my body that's going to touch the ground is my elbow. Then from my elbow, I'm going to put my shoulder on the ground, like so. Now, when I put my shoulder on the ground, my head is going to come close to the ground. So to prevent my head from hitting the ground is by putting it as far away from my right shoulder as possible. If you're going to the other side, that means putting it as far away. So whatever shoulder touches the ground, that is the one we want to stay off of. Now, this is not a roll that goes over our head. So if you actually were to watch this back in slow motion, you would see my head never goes underneath me. It stays to the side the whole time. So let me show you what this roll looks like. Ready? Hands are coming down, elbow, then shoulder, head goes to the side, roll across my back, back up onto my feet. Ready? Elbow, shoulder, back, feet. Don't bump into anything. I'm going at a sideways angle so that you guys can see this. but I want you guys to make sure you're not rolling towards anything like I just did, so you don't smash into it. So, one more time, down low, make a diamond, elbows coming towards the ground after our hands made contact, then our shoulder, roll across the back, up onto our feet. Okay, now if that's really fast, I'm going to try to do one in slow motion. So I know it's kind of blurry because it's dark in here. Sorry, this is what I'm working with. Okay, so hands here, elbow, shoulder. When I get to this position, if you look, I'm going to put one foot down, sideways like this. The other foot is staying up in the air as my hand pushes on the ground again. Foot makes contact to the ground, and I can come up onto one knee, crouching down low, reaching forward. Elbow, shoulder, back, knee, foot, feet. Okay? One more time, just again. So, reaching down, arms come on either side, elbow, shoulder, back, knee, foot, standing. Okay? Hope that all makes sense. So if you need to practice this a few more times, pause this video. You can do it a whole bunch and then come back to it, because what I'm going to do is a little bit and see if you've really got it. All right? Please make sure that you're doing this roll before you try any of these next steps, because that is the easiest way to do the roll. And if you can do these, if you can do that every time without messing up, then you can do these next steps pretty easily. All right? So moving on to the little bit more advanced bit of our roll. This is going to be about lengthening the start of our roll, which is going to help us get a smoother roll across a harder surface. So if I'm on pillow, I can go pretty tight and it doesn't really bother me. But if I'm on a hard ground, so this ground down here that I have is actually just concrete with a little bit of carpet over it, and I have that panel or that yoga mat to help out. If I'm on a hard surface, I want to make my roll a little bit longer, and that's going to help me keep my back and my hips from getting bumped. And my round position is super important. So the way that that works, so you're going to start it exactly the same, but this time, instead of putting our hands down right in front of us, we're going to reach them out a lot further, but they're still, so let me go towards you here, ready? They're still going to reach to one side, okay? So my feet are pointing towards the camera, all right? My hands are going to reach to the side, all right? But instead of being nice and close to me so I can get my elbow down easy, they're going to be way out here. Now, as we go into the roll, you're going to find that your knees start to bump the ground if you go down. We do not want our knees to touch the ground, and the way to fix this is to get our hips to go into the air. So let me show you from the side. So if I reach out like this, like I'm saying, and try to roll, I bump the ground. But if I reach out and lift my hips up, then my knees don't bump the ground. But if our hips are higher in the air, that means that they can come down onto the ground a lot harder. All right, so this is why we need to make sure we have a good roll. Because if you jump your hips over your head while trying to go far, and you don't have a good start to your shoulder roll, your hips are going to come crashing down onto the floor, and it's going to hurt. I recommend using a pillow the first time you try this till you really get it, all right? But what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we have solid connection with our elbow, our forearm, up the arm to our shoulder, and then around back all the way across, and that will stop our hips from smashing. If our hips do hit the ground hard, that means that we didn't have our solid connection all the way up and our round back, okay? If you have all those things, your roll will not bump the ground hard, all right? So again, our diamond reaching out and rolling smooth. So I don't know if you guys can hear that well, but my roll is pretty quiet. If you're doing a roll and it sounds like it's really loud or bumpy, you're probably not doing it smooth enough. And the tips to doing it smooth enough is to make it small and make sure that your hands touch, then your forearm, then all the way up your arm to your shoulder, and then across your back nice and smooth. Every single point from your hand to your hip should touch the ground. If any part of your body skips the ground, you're going to have a bang, all right? So again, this is how we make our roll a little bit more advanced. Instead of staying close here, we're reaching out in front, lifting our hips, and doing our roll there, all right? last thing you can try, if you've got the space for it. I don't really have the space, so I'll show you how to do it just from the ground. Actually, yeah, we'll have the space. I'm going to come straight towards you because it's the only way that I can make this work. But the roll is going to be exactly the same as that last one we did where we reach out far. But instead, we're just going to do a little bit of a jump to give ourselves some momentum. So this, again, once we are totally comfortable with our roll and we feel like we've got it, we've nailed it, that's when we're going to start adding a little bit of a jump. Now, the distance is not that important. Neither is the height. Start small, make it bigger. But we're going to go jump, land, and roll right away. Okay? When you're landing your jump, you should be landing and crouching down and immediately pushing into the roll. All right? When you do this, make sure you're reaching forwards and not straight down. So reach forwards into the roll, lift your hips up, and have that nice shape. All right? If I'm doing that onto a pillow, I'm going to put the pillow out in front of me. I'm going to start far away from the pillow, and I'm going to jump and land right in front of it so that I can roll on the pillow. So it looks like this. Ready? Cool. That is our shoulder roll for today. Grab a quick drink of water. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of conditioning that you can do that's actually going to help your shoulder roll get better. Okay? Grab some water. I don't have any left. All right. Conditioning for shoulder rolls. We're going to do the rock and roll that we did at the very beginning, but we're going to do it with a jump. So laying down on the ground like so. We're going to stay in a ball, roll backwards, roll forwards, stand up on our feet, and jump. Okay? But you're going to do that all in a row without stopping. So ready? Back, up, jump. Back, up, jump. You guys should be able to do 10 of these without stopping. All right? This is going to help us keep that nice round shape as we do our rolls. All right? So you've probably done like 5. Keep going, do a few more. Cool. All right. We're probably almost at 10. Here's the next exercise. Rolling requires a lot of core and back strength here to keep this round shape. So we're going to do some sit-ups. Find something to stick your feet under, or get a brother, sister, cat, dog, mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, whoever it is that you might have at home to help you to hold your feet. Arms go across our chest like this. Elbows have to touch our knees like that. You guys should be able to do 20 of these, no problem. If you need to take a break after 10, that would work too, all right? Try to lift all the way up every single time. No cheating it and only going like this. And make sure that you don't just go back and forth like this. Go all the way down. And then when you come up, I want you to try to think about a round back coming up. Round. Boom. Cool. After you get 20 of those, the last thing that we can do is, let's see, what's another rolling one? I know. So in order to do a good roll, you also need to be strong on the arms. So we're going to do push-ups, but I want you to try these modified push-ups. Ready? Instead of doing our normal push-ups, we're going to try these ones. Just like in our roll, we made a diamond. We're going to make a diamond on the floor with our hands. All right? And you're going to try your push-ups like this. It should be a little bit harder because it's going to start using the outside of your arms. But then it's going to get us familiar with that bending of our arms with that diamond shape for our shoulder roll. All right? So push-ups, you guys can do, let's say, 10 diamonds. And then I want you to do as many as you can in a row, like we've been doing, without stopping, and you can do those normal, so you don't have to do them in the diamond because that's going to be a lot harder. All right? Thanks for tuning in. I think I only had one person this whole time. Thanks for tuning in. Hope it's been the same person. If it hasn't, thanks for coming anyways. And if you're watching this after it's happened, thanks for doing that, and keep training. Stay safe. See you guys next week.